All right, guys, we have reached the final week of our Observer High School football videos. We're going to pick up with basketball, I guess, after the new year.
Sounds about right. Yeah,
Sounds
we'll
about
see.
right. So we're gonna
Get
take
past
a
the
break.
holidays first.
But we're going to go talk about state championships. We have a lot of teams in state championships from our area. East Lincoln's in the 2AA, Shelby, Crest, the two Cleveland County teams in the 3A, and Weddington in the 3AA finals. A little bit of a surprise there. They made a nice run this year.
They did, especially with the backup quarterback. I mean, that's an amazing run. They
Grayson
lose their
Willingham.
quarterback. It was either right before the playoffs or in the middle of the playoffs. I can't remember exactly when it was, but Grayson Willingham comes through and is scored the game-winning touchdown against Cuthbertson and really is
Big man
showing
on
up for
campus.
them.
Hope
Yeah, that's awesome.
I hope you guys bought them lunch over. Now, we also have two Charlotte teams going to the finals for the first time since 2006. We have Mallard Creek in the 4AA, Coach Mike Palmieri. We have Charlotte Catholic in the 4A. We're going to go over and talk to Coach Brodowicz later on in the week. Coach, everybody thinks that you guys are going to win 59-21 again. And I remember last year it was 59-7. I was like, wow, I don't remember a performance like this in state finals in a long time. But how do you handle being so heavily favored again?
Just keeping the guys focused. Like I said before, we're used to it. We don't worry about what people predict the score is going to be. You can't go out there and do that, because that's when you take a back seat sometimes and you take a loss. We don't prepare like that. It doesn't matter if we're favored or underdogs. We're just going to prepare and go out there and try to play.
If you're Wake Forest and you played the team last year and they beat you so bad, what are you thinking? Are you thinking, I want them again, or I don't want them
again? First, I'd probably not want them again. But I think, maybe you can, I guess you can probably use it as some motivation if you're a coach with the kids. Say, look what they did to us last year. We went to the state championship and didn't even have a chance. They, ran all over us. Look at that. And maybe you can use that as some motivation to get the kids to come out and be ready. But I don't know if, like, from a wanting to win a state championship standpoint, I don't know if I want to play Mallard Creek again.
And I don't know how much you're going to get into this, but I'm looking at their stats, assuming these stats that are online are correct. They average 100 yards passing a game, 300 yards rushing a game, and basically one guy gets almost all that rushing, Bryce Love.
Yeah.
So I've said for the longest time, you can't beat Charlotte teams just by running the ball. And even Richmond County now is throwing the ball all around because they couldn't beat Charlotte teams. So I'm looking at the game. I don't see a way they can beat you.
Right.
I'm just going to be honest. I don't see it.
Well, as far as you can always lose a game by just making mistakes and turning the ball over. But, as far as, a team that rushes for 300 yards a game and passes for 100 yards a game, it's a lot easier to game plan for. But you still got to make sure that you stay sharp and you stay to your techniques and your discipline against a wing-tee offense like they run, because the game plan is important. If you make one mistake, a kid like they have, Bryce Love, can just take it to the house. We watch him on film. He has a lot of breakaway runs. So that's something we can't have happen. Against a team like that, you want them to go 15 plays. You can't have a one-play touchdown, because their defense is pretty good.
They're big.
They're pretty big.
Yeah.
They're tough on defense, and they got good players on offense. They're 14, 15-0. So we expect them to come out, especially after what happened last year.
They're like 27-1 in their last 28
Yeah,
games.
they
What
do
about
a good
that
job.
one? Coach? What about that one?
They do a good job, but we're expecting them to come out and play hard. State championship. It's not going to be easy for us. We don't expect it to be easy. But
right now, we walked around and talked to your 58 players, and how many of them would honestly do you think the game's over right now?
I don't know about the game's over, but they're going to be confident. Your kids have to be confident. We feel we're going to win every game we play. We want that. But they're also going to know that we still have to do the job on the field. And just because you're favored to win a football game doesn't mean you're going to win the game. Football is showing that, that's why I tell them to watch football, because you see favorites lose all the time. You make mistakes, you're in a game, all of a sudden it's the fourth quarter, you're up or down by 7. And that's what we don't want. We want to go out there and play our style football. If they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us at our game and with 48 tough minutes from our kids. You don't want to go to a state championship and lay an egg. You want to go play your best game.
Were you surprised? You're looking at the scores last week, and it's 41-14 against Lake Norman, and then it ends up 48-41. It's a nail biter. I mean, what happened down the stretch?
Just momentum. We didn't make plays. They made some plays. That's what's great about this game. It can turn. We've done it. We've been down by 30 points and came back and won a game. So, it's football. When you get to the fourth round against a good team like Lake Norman, they're going to play the whole entire game, and you got to play the whole entire game. And when you get ahead 41-14, sometimes high school kids fall up a little bit and they think the game's over, and it takes a couple of touchdowns to get them back focused. So we were lucky enough to just hold on.
And I think that's the scare this week, is that they have that attitude coming out from the start, and now they're up 41-14. I think that's the only way that this can go sour for these guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I was going to add on to that. With high school football, you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, there's a lot of things can go wrong. So I saw the 41-14 score, and I was like, I thought they would, cruise to it, and I kind of stopped paying attention. But like you said, I mean, things happen. Kids kind of get out of the game, and whatever. But I think it's hard not to come in motivated to a state championship game. I mean, regardless of who you're playing, regardless of what the predictions are and what people think about the team. I mean, you're going to Wake Forest Stadium. You're going to be there. The atmosphere. You're going to be playing a state championship game. It's hard. I think it's hard not to be up for it and be ready to go.
If these guys win too, and Coach told me off camera they have 16 starters coming back next year, including James Smith, who's had one of the 10 best seasons ever for a dual threat quarterback. Is this a dynasty? Is this Independence Butler? Is this a dynasty if they can get it done? They're like 79-7.
I think you have to. I mean, I would. Independence is hard because they won. 7 in a row there or whatever it was for so long. So that's hard to compare them. But I think they're right there with Butler. Yeah. I mean, absolutely, with the run they've had over the past 3-4 seasons, and the way that they've been right with Butler the whole way. They've kind of play each other in the semifinals, one lose one, that kind of thing. They're right there with them. But 2 straight championships. I mean, that's in the biggest class in North Carolina. I mean, that puts you right up there with some of those teams.
And 16 stars coming back next year.
Yeah. So they'll be favorites.
Now, Coach Brand last week on camera, he guaranteed they're going to the state finals next year. Yeah. So we're gonna have a Mallard Creek and Vance, caravanning together. You guys I can throw a football to Vance from here.
Yeah, no, we're not going to go out on a limb and say we're going to do that. We're going to get this one, hopefully, and then we'll worry about next year when it happens. We're not, that's just not the way our program works. We don't make the predictions and all that.
Well, I made predictions, and I told y'all, when was the last time we got here? A couple months ago?
Yeah.
What did I say?
We were going to win it.
I said you're going to win it. They're going to win it this year, and they're going to win it next year. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Thank you.
All right, through the magic of television, we've now gone across town. Corey and I have changed clothes, and we've now got Charlotte Catholic coach Mike Brodowicz to talk about the North Carolina 4A state championship. You guys are old friends with the state championship game.
Yes. We've been
1977 we won, 2004 we won, 2005 we won, and then we got back 3 more times and we didn't win.
Exactly.
So how do you turn around recent history in the state finals for Charlotte Catholic?
Well, it's a different team and a different coaching staff. So we've just, again, the way our kids have approached it, we've made it more of a workmanlike approach. We're very excited to be here. The kids are very excited, especially with the win over Vance and how that played out. But we've come back in on Monday and Tuesday, and it's been back to not just happy to be in there, but to sit there and close the door and not. I told kids not to be a bridesmaid anymore, but be the bride. Go ahead and close it out right here. And they've responded very well. And again, we'll see on Friday night, 7:30, how well they have responded.
You've seen these guys; they've been like the cardiac cats or something every week. It's like these amazing comebacks. I mean, you've been over here with thunderstorms and canceled games,
a couple times,
touchdowns in the end zone. They say in passing for touchdowns in the end zone. And last week they threw the ball almost intentionally. I mean, what do you think about these guys as they play a New Bern team that has a lot of history playing Mecklenburg County teams in state finals?
That's been the biggest difference I've noticed is the passing game. I mean, they're passing the ball more, not necessarily like they did last week, which they passed for 200-some yards and had a great game, but they're lining up in sets where they have some wideouts, which I don't think I've seen in the past 4 years of being here. They didn't even have wide receivers in the roster, I don't think, for several years. But now they split some guys out. They do some more of the passing game. It's kind of something else you got to watch for. And I think we talked about this at the beginning of the season is that, they lose a weapon like Elijah Hood, who was so great. But what that gives them is you can't focus on one player. Jared Anderson is definitely their top back, but they've got so many other guys who are coming in and doing so much more. You got to watch the passing game. You got to watch Ryan Miller. You got to watch Jared Anderson. You got to watch the other backs that are coming out of there. So I think it makes them sometimes a tougher team to kind of watch and game plan for. If you look at Vance, and they held him rushing to, 130, less than 150 yards. And usually if you do that to Catholic, you think you're going to win the game.
You're going to win big.
And
Yes.
you do what you did to stop them, and they still can find a way to beat you.
Is this part of an evolution over here? Is this the beginning of, not necessarily you're going to be spread them out all the time, but we're going to see more passing as a part of the game plan at Charlotte Catholic?
Yeah, when you interviewed me when I got this job, I said that's one of the things I want to be able to open up a little bit more, or if we had to pass to win the game, if they're going to force us to throw the football, that we can do that. Not that we want to do that, but that we're capable of. And I think with this evolution, as you well put, it's taken us a long time. It's taken us about 16 weeks to get to this point. We couldn't do this against Mallard Creek, and when Mallard Creek jumped on us and put 8 in the box, we weren't capable of throwing the ball this efficient, this well, or with this accuracy. So our kids were not used to running routes. They didn't understand the windows, how it opened up. Our quarterbacks still weren't with the timing of all the aspect. So yes, hopefully now with the way we've started to see it, and the coaching system, we didn't understand how we could use the wing T and yet become a spread team when we needed to, but yet not lose, the surprise element of running some of our wing T stuff out of the spread. So that this whole process.
So you're going to become Oregon or Baylor?
Whatever it takes. Boy, that would if we have a running quarterback, that's the last thing we need to find. Which I'm happy with John, but that's the one thing the element we don't have.
And see, that the sound you just heard is all the other coaches in the So Make 8 going, gosh darn it! I thought all we had to do was put 8 in the box and 2 on the side. Now we got to spread out and still deal with that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Next year, 13 starters back. We talked about with Coach Palmieri just a couple minutes ago about Magic of Television.
Right.
And he said he had 16 starters back, and I said they're going back to the state championship. If you have 13 starters back with Jared, with John Walton, with your linebackers, with your 5 front guys, why can't you go back again?
Well, that's our expectations here. I mean, that's what we're going to break down. That's what we'll start, here in January in the weight room about getting back to be a state championship team. It's a tradition that we've has really come about in the last 10 years, but with Coach Odo, he's done it a long time before that from some Western Conference championships when they didn't actually have a state playoff due to gas prices and stuff. But so it's a tradition here that we really believe in. We stress it. The people buy into it here. The kids coming up from Holy Trinity, our feeder system, come in here. They're excited to wear the red. So we hopefully. That's why I'm breathing a little easier that we had the season that we had, because there was obviously a lot of doubts. Obviously, losing Elijah, one of the greatest player we've had in this school's history, and then on the same year, the greatest coach here at this school that has led for 40 years.
There was another coach at Charlotte County.
So exactly, yeah. So there was some pressure, and I thought our kids and our staff, we all come together and kind of worked hard to get to this point. But again, you got to be a little lucky. Don't get me wrong. I mean, 2-point play with Vance to go either way. The last drive against Audrey Kell, you don't do that. We were very fortunate on that. Go 42 seconds, go down the field. But
it always takes a little luck.
I've always said that. In the years that we've lost, we look back after we won 2 years in a row. We thought, okay, we got this down pretty good. And then when we start looking back, you start seeing, boy, that play, just the ball bounced our way, and then it didn't bounce the way in those 3 other championship years. And that's like Coach O told me and has said to ours, he goes, if you stick around long enough, those plays even out. So I'm gonna get out before those even up my way.
One of the most amazing things that's not talked about, you guys have been to 8 regional finals in 10 years. That's a pretty amazing run. And I think 9 of 11 is going to be in the picture next year. We talked to Coach Brand. Coach Brand's guaranteeing a state championship. But guess who we've got to go through to get to that state championship? Charlotte County. That's going to be a great rivalry.
Yeah.
We're going to catch you guys next week with a state championship wrap-up. And we'll talk about what happened. Hopefully this guy's got a ring. Coach Palmieri's got a ring. They'll give us a ring.
Maybe.
I'll buy them all.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week.